So I'm Xavier Dolléans, I'm a French cinematographer. I'm working mostly into the field of TV series. I've done the TV series Scam France, the first 6 seasons, and I shot recently the TV series, the mini-series Germinal. Germinal is a French classic book from Émile Zola. It tells the story of miners in the north of France who are striking against the bourgeois, against their chief, actually. So we have created a specific look for Germinal. During prep, we have made a lot of tests. We have shot some pictures with actors, actually, and we wanted a very bold look, actually, a look with a very high contrast. And I wanted to add some green tint into the low lights. We wanted, with my colorist, to add a kind of a glow on highlights, a yellow glow on every flames we are going to have. So I started to look for some references, and I found a very inspiring photograph by Sebastião Salgado about miners in Brazil. This picture was shot with a 3x 320 from Kodak, an expired film, actually. This is not available anymore. So I found few rolls of it. So we shot some contrast charts with the Sony VENICE and the 3x 320 side by side. Then I give everything to my colorist and a color scientist, and they work together to create a look and to take the contrast from this very specific film to black and white film, and to add this contrast to the final image. So, and then I asked to Florin to clean a little bit the skins, because the skin tone were not very accurate. So the color scientist for this part is very important. You know, it's not just creating a look. This is something about very fine tuning every little step into your image. So it was a very, very important step. So I choose the Venice for several reasons. First, I like to test most of the professional camera existing before every project. I made a comparison with other cameras, and a very simple test that I like to do is to take one candle and to put 3 cameras or 4 side by side, and just to push the ISO, you know, to see where I can go in terms of high ISO, because I knew I needed a very high ISO for shooting Germinal, because we are shooting in anamorphic at 2.8 and a half. We are going to shoot in a very high speed for some sequences. At the same time, I needed a very, a camera very not so much heavy, and with a lot of modularity, because we are going to shoot handled, we are going to shoot on crane, we are going to shoot with a running, on Steadicam, and underwater. So after the first test, actually, I was kind of, okay, the Sony Venice is still a good camera for me. And yes, it was a perfect tool, you know, because we were able to shoot in anamorphic, sometimes around T4 at night, 50 FPS. So you need very big lights, but at the same time you need a very sensitive camera. And we try to prep, but sometimes he tells me, okay, Xavier, can we shoot at 50 FPS this sequence? And when you are at night, if your lighting setup is ready, shooting at 50 FPS could be kind of tricky. I have a little trick to be able to shoot at 50 FPS. I asked to my camera assistant to set the camera at 2500 ISO plus ND3 on it. So I'm working, or I'm creating all the lighting at 1200. And everything is ready, so I have this light level. And if David is asking me to shoot at 50, I just have to take off the ND3 and I'm ready, and nothing has changed, because this is the same noise level. And you can only do this trick with Sony Venice, actually, because this is so sensitive. At the end of Germinal, we have underwater sequences. The mine is, there is a sabotage, and there is a flooding of the mine. So we had to build our set on a very specific stage in Belgium named Lights underwater stage. And that was kind of funny, actually, because we had 4 cameras, 2 really underwater and 2 air and water, just at the surface, you know. Kind of very simple to put the camera into those housing, you know. The modularity is very nice, and we don't have any issues about heatings or things like that. And at the same time, the big sensitivity helps, because we had to shoot at 50 FPS underwater, also with not so many lights because it was a mine, so only lamps, on the faces, and everything was into darkness, so the very high sensitivity helps a lot. My next project is a movie called Marinette, about the life of Marinette Pichon, a famous female football player. And this is a biopic, actually. I like to test again and again the camera, as I was saying, so I'm still in the testing part right now, as a side-by-side testing part. I think the Sony VENICE will still be the winner.